How's it going, everyone? It has been a crazy time for PlayStation and Xbox news as far as the crossovers and PlayStation games on Xbox, Xbox games on PlayStation, and the Holy Grail IP. While I'm incredibly excited for Gears of War Reloaded to come to PlayStation, and that's going to be a gargantuan release, and we'll talk about that, Halo is still what I would consider to be the flagship of Xbox, really the IP that is emblematic with Xbox as a brand. And here's more fuel for the rumor mill. Rebs Gaming has noted 2 new Halo titles and a beta with PlayStation compatibility has been found in API. We'll be talking about that. Gears of War Reloaded, again, a major release, and we do have a note on how big the file size for the game is. A sizable install will be needed for that, although relative to a lot of games coming out, not the biggest in the world. And another Xbox published game has come to PlayStation today, along with an enhanced update. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But Rebs Gaming, 2 new Halo titles and a beta with PlayStation compatibility has been found in API. Rebs Gaming spoke to Grunt.api and received new details about what was discovered. A new Halo title with PlayStation compatibility that Grunt believes could be Certain Affinity's rumored Project Ecker, the multiplayer Halo game. So yes, the studio Certain Affinity is working on a multiplayer Halo title. Last Monday, the title was linked to PlayFab, which is used for cross-platform progression, matchmaking, and unified online services. A beta is listed alongside this new Halo title, but Grunt isn't 100% sure what that it is for. A second new Halo title is listed in the API, however, there isn't much information on that. It could be an instance that there are 2 separate listings, one for the beta of this multiplayer game and the other for the full release of the multiplayer game. However, there are also the rumblings of the ground-up Halo 1 remake, and that would make all the sense in the world for that to be on PlayStation right out the gate, so it could be an instance of this multiplayer title and then also the Halo 1 remake. Now, the multiplayer game is going to be something that I would imagine is going to get announced relatively soon, and also they are going to have big announcements at the Halo World Championship Series, which is, I believe, happening in October, so we will probably get a lot more clarity on that. And if it is going to be tied to a multiplayer project, I could easily see something like they have a big announcement in October, and then that beta will kick off very quickly thereafter. I could easily see that coming to fruition. However, given that next year is also the 25th anniversary of Xbox, I would really imagine that they'll try to get the Halo 1 remake out next year, and they really want to make that a flagship year for Xbox. Not necessarily Xbox console, but Xbox from a game release standpoint, where you have the rumblings of Forza getting a new release, where you have Gears of War getting a new release, where you have Halo getting a new release, and then Fable getting a new release. Those are the four IPs that I would say are the most entwined with Xbox. 2 of the 4 are already now available, or I should say, 2 of the 4 will be available on PlayStation here very shortly. Forza Horizon 5 already on PlayStation, Gears coming to PlayStation at the end of this month. I would imagine Gears of War E-Day will eventually get announced for PlayStation 5 here, maybe even as a day 1 title. That is what I'm crossing my fingers for. And then Halo eventually coming to PlayStation as well. And then Fable, ultimately, I think it would behoove them to drop that on PlayStation as well. I think they do need to juice up the anticipation and excitement around that game after so many different delays. You know, the trailer's not really blowing people away. Some of the aspects of the design choice is certainly not blowing people away. I think it would make a lot of sense for that. But Halo is the one that I think is going to set, you know, the community ablaze as far as when that gets officially revealed. And it is going to be very interesting because while Halo is this IP that used to be a juggernaut, it used to be a gigantic franchise. I remember growing up and seeing the Halo 3 standees everywhere, and how Halo 3's release was a real cultural event, it felt like. And then Halo Reach was big as well. I feel like after that, with Halo 4, certainly Halo 5 Guardians and Halo Infinite, Halo is not where it was at, you know, a decade and a half ago. However, if you want to get people more invested into Halo and at least have an initial shockwave, ultimately it comes down to the game being of quality for it to sustain interest. But Halo on PlayStation is immediately going to get people to pay attention because it's Halo on PlayStation. That's just something insane that I don't think a lot of people ever expected us to see. And when you walk into a store, if you're like that casual gamer, or you're not in, you might be a lapsed gamer, you might play games, you might have played games a decade and a half ago, and you just see a box that says PlayStation on it or PS5 and it has a Halo image on it, you're taken aback a little bit, because I think that is just something everybody knows. Halo is tied to Xbox, like Mario is tied to Nintendo, and like God of War is tied to PlayStation. Just seeing Master Chief or any type of Halo design on a PlayStation box is gonna be something that's like, whoa. I think Gears of War will have that effect as well, but Gears of War, while a gigantic IP, not as big as Halo, and I think Halo would be on another level as far as that's concerned, but I think both of those franchises, Gears and Halo, they are both a little bit on the downside. Like Gears 2, Gears 3, huge releases. Gears 4, Gears 5, not so much. Halo 3, Halo Reach, huge releases. Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, not as much as far as sustainability. As far as excitement around the IP, at least you are going to be able to rev up a little bit of that excitement by dropping the game on PlayStation for the first time. And when that does happen, I think there will be an inherent initial level of interest. Whether or not that interest will be sustainable, that'll come down to the game being of quality, so we'll see how that turns out. Speaking of Xbox on PlayStation, I'm incredibly excited for Gears of War Reloaded. Gears of War 1 is a phenomenal game, and being that it's priced at $39.99, incredibly exciting stuff. Multiplayer is there as well, and we now know the download size. It'll be 63 gigabytes for the game, which is a sizable install for a game that came out in 2006, but, you know, it is an upgraded release, enhanced textures, everything like that, so we'll see how that goes. Gears of War Reloaded, I think, is going to do incredible numbers. You want to talk about Forza Horizon 5 doing incredible numbers, and it did pretty damn well. I think Gears of War is going to shatter those numbers, given that Forza is a big IP. Gears of War is really one of those IPs alongside Halo, and I think Gears is a clear, you know, second place to Halo, but it's still a massive IP that initial effect of, oh my god, it's Gears of War on PlayStation, and it's priced at $39.99. I think that's going to get a lot of people to just be like, okay, I'm checking that out, especially because maybe that level of excitement and anticipation isn't quite there yet, but once the game is out, or it's a couple days removed from the game being out, and the PlayStation dashboard is promoting Gears of War Reloaded coming out, and you see that picture, for the casual audience, I think they're just gonna look at that and be like, what? Gears of War on PlayStation? That would be so ridiculous to think about a decade ago, but yes, now it's coming to fruition, and it's coming at a great price point of $40 that I think people are just gonna be, that they're chilling a day after work, they turn on the PlayStation, they say, what the hell? Gears of War is on PlayStation, that's new, let me click on this. Oh, it's priced at $39.99, it's a re-release of Gears 1, I never played Gears, or, you know, I played Gears back in the day, and it's a great game, and it's only $40, I'd like to revisit that, and I think it's gonna have that level of effect where, yes, it might not have a big buzz around it right now, and I do feel like it has a healthy level of buzz around it, but I feel like it's just gonna be exponentially higher once it's out and once people realize, yeah, yo, Gears is on PlayStation, and you can play the single player, the campaign, and the multiplayer, it's all there. Now, I really did love Gears 2, especially. Gears 3 as well was great, but Gears 2 in particular, I would love to see both 2 and 3 get ported at some point. If you don't want to throw the multiplayer into those games, maybe you could do a Gears HD collection where you still have the Horde components and you drop those on PlayStation for probably $50, I think they could get away with both of those games if they're stripping away the competitive multiplayer. But if you want to have the competitive multiplayer, all good on that as well. I just want to see Gears 2 and 3 on PlayStation as well. Lastly, Senua Saga Hellblade 2 Enhanced has gotten its launch trailer. That is live right now on PlayStation. I've made my opinion on this pretty vocal in the sense that I don't think this is going to be one of those games that does incredibly well at a $50 price point on a one-year delay. It seemingly didn't blow people away. I mean, those concurrent player count numbers on Steam as far as the initial release weren't exponentially high. And yeah, a lot of people did play it via Game Pass. It's a shorter game, so it's a little bit of a hard sell, but I think people will ultimately check the game out once it's, you know, at a discount, $20, maybe as a PlayStation Plus title. I could see that happening, you know, bake that game in a Plus Extra 6 months to a year down the line. I could see people checking it out then, but it is now available on PS5 alongside a lot of enhancements and updates, haptic feedback, all that good stuff. But that is going to do it for me. Again, more fuel to the fire when it comes to Halo on PlayStation. I think it's a foregone conclusion that it will be happening. You've got Gears of War. That'll be coming out at the end of this month. Good to see that rumor mill. It was finally put to rest when it was officially announced for PlayStation 5, just like I think the Halo rumor mill. That'll be put to rest for people that still don't think it'll happen. And Senua Saga Hellblade 2 Enhanced that is on PlayStation Now. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.